All parents want their children to live the lives of their dreams. For adults, we often look back at our adolescent years as times that are unsettling, confusing, and yes, maybe even a little difficult. For individuals with disabilities such as Down syndrome or autism, the challenges of the adolescent years are greatly magnified. We call these years the transition years, and they usually are in the age range of 14 to 21. The ARC has been providing information, support, and innovative programs to families for 70 years. Over half of those served by the ARC last year were on the autism spectrum. Mark and Carmen Edmond have 3 sons on the spectrum, all at different stages of transition. We sat down with them to hear their story.
Our family. Well, we have 4 boys. Oldest is Austin, he's 22. Then we have Wesley, he's 19. We have Devin, he's 17. And then we have Preston, and he is 14. Wesley, he attends HTC and the TASO program in, Eden Prairie. Also goes to Vector. He's a pretty busy guy.
Devin is so into trains that he's already studying to be a brakeman.
He definitely has a goal. He wants, to be a train engineer. If he could just go off and do that right this minute, that's what he would do. And I think that's going to be a big challenge because there are steps that have to be taken. With Preston, wow, he's 14. I don't think he really knows.
Some disabilities can be diagnosed when a child is born, yet other special needs often emerge during the preschool years. No matter when a diagnosis occurs, it often is traumatic and is complicated for the family to process. The ARC is there for families at all ages and stages of their lives, including babies, young children, adolescents, and adults of any age.
I guess we first noticed in the Asperger's with Devin when he was about 2, and we noticed some things weren't quite right. He wasn't developing as fast as other kids probably would that would be his age. He was playing alongside of other kids rather than playing with kids. And it wasn't obvious, and yet you felt like it's something you should have seen earlier.
I was determined that I was going to fix it. That was my first thing. And then when we started to get hit with realizing that Wesley was on the spectrum also, and then turning and seeing that here's Preston and there it is, right in your face. So it's now it's just time to deal with it.
Autism, in the best way that I can explain it, is like being trapped in a car that lost all 4 of its wheels. You see the world around you, you know what's going on, you just don't know where to go and how fast you should go and what do you do.
There were some things going on with Devin, and he was being bullied, and then somebody at one of the schools just happened to drop something in my lap, and they said, look, you need to call these people. And I said, okay, I will. And so I called, and I was so fortunate. I got Susan as my advocate, and we talked.
I started working with the Edmonds 7 years ago when Preston was in 1st grade. I've seen a lot of changes in the boys over the years. There are a lot of, twists and turns and issues and concerns that parents have to deal with as their children go through the school years. And transition creeps up. When you think about all the areas that a typically developing child will just kind of learn and absorb, and a child with special needs does not, the age of 14 to age 21, it turns out it's not that many years to really address all the issues when you look at all the transition areas that are to be addressed and all the transition areas that are going to help that student become independent.
Transition is, on all the different levels, is difficult. You can't just say this one thing's going to work for you. So we are constantly on the go and constantly trying to figure out what they could succeed at, what the boys can, that's what it's about. It's about building their confidence. I've seen many people struggling. I'll sit there and I'll listen, and then I'll start asking them, do you have somebody that is helping you with this? Do you have somebody who's advocating with you for your child?
A critical part of planning for the future is mapping out a young adult's strengths, supports, and dreams.
I have worked with a lot of families over the years that I've been with the ARC. I tell many parents, you know your child best. You are your child's best advocate. And the ARC's job is to help support that parent. And it's not to tell them what to do, it's kind of to work with them so that they know what's possible. I think that a lot of times they just don't know what's possible.
You know, I have to thank all the contributors that are out here tonight that have donated to ARC in the past and will continue to do in the future. It's a great cause that's benefited Carmen and my boys immeasurably. I don't know how I could ever put a price tag on how much it's benefited us and what it's done for us and the services that we've gotten and where my boys are today because of it. My dream for them is to be able to do what they want to do and actually have them become independent and successful.
We are thrilled to have helped the Edmond family, but there are so many more families, so much more we can do. Planning for the future is complicated, stressful, and emotional. We need your support in order to help us expand our current transition services and to help us implement our new ideas. Don't we all want our sons and daughters to soar into the future?